I was only walking through your neighborhood, saw you light on honey in the cold. I stood. Anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. I've been getting used to waking up with you. I've been getting used to waking up here. Anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are.
Absolutely. Every time we went to Madison County Lake, we would fish for a certain amount of time, and it never failed that my dad would look at me and say, "Why don't you go get us a Coke and a piece of candy?" And it never failed that it was simply a Coke and a candy bar. And it was the same conversation every time we went fishing. I know that bass was caught at Madison County Lake that we used to go fish at all the time. And looking at this picture, those were the coveralls that my dad always wore in the wintertime. And he was probably the only one fishing there because it was usually so cold that he was the only one silly enough to go fishing.
Is that where you would get the Coke and a piece of candy?
And that's the same lake where we'd get the Coke and a piece of candy. And I remember this bass because it was one of the biggest ones he had caught. And when he brought it home, he gave it to Jerry, my brother, with the intention that Jerry was going to take it home and clean it and eat it. And he took this bass and had it mounted and gave it to my dad as a present.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Our 13-year-old all-star teams, we had actually already won the Alabama State Championship in 13-year-old Babe Ruth All-Stars. And this picture, if I'm not mistaken, was taken in Shelbyville, Tennessee when we were playing for the regional championships. And my dad and my mom had not got to see us play in the state tournament, and this was the first time that they'd seen us play the whole time during that all-star season.
You were only 13 in that picture?
Mm-hmm.
You look so old.
You're the fire and the flood, and I always feel you in my blood. Everything is fine. Your head's resting next to mine, next to mine. You're the fire and the flood.
I know this is a picture of my dad when he was in the Army. And he always had the joke that he was in the Army to win the peace. He won a little piece of Poland, a little piece of Italy, and
You mean like women?
Now listen here, she said, boy, when you know.
this is a picture of me and my Easter bunny and my Easter basket at the home I grew up in on Buford Street in Huntsville. I do remember that car. That was a Pontiac Bonneville that my dad loved. And if I'm not mistaken, my brother Gary later on wrecked and totaled that car. This is the house I grew up in on Buford Street, and this looks like I'm the little blonde-headed boy, and the other one is my cousin David, and they live next door to us.
No